So I'm here right now in Marmoset Toolbag 4. The version of Marmoset Toolbag isn't important. I have this Rickenbacker bass guitar. This is a piece of mine. Now, this is a game art piece. This is in Marmoset Toolbag. Now, I want to point out one really essential, crucial thing to know about portfolio renders and the comparison between a product render and a game art prop piece. That's essential to know, especially if you're trying to do a game art prop piece, because there's something that I had to learn that took me a while. Now, if you look at this from this angle, this back to camera that I have here, this looks nice and clean around here. You notice this is nice and pretty. And one thing that happened with the original, I've retextured this a little bit a few times, but like something that happened with the first time I posted this on PolyCount, I got a critique that someone was like, well, I like this chip. It's like, that's kind of nice, but like everything else looks pristine and very clean. And I was like, huh, that's funny. I spent hours on the roughness variation back there. And it's like, it's kind of frustrating. It's like, okay, I don't get it. What do I have to do? Drop a flower pot of dirt on there? But, well, here's the thing. Let's go back here. Let's just move this around. Just do this and bring it in here. And yeah, it's pretty clean, but hey, we're starting to get, we're starting to see a little bit of stuff there. Let's go in closer. Yeah, you're starting to see from this angle, you're starting to see some variation that I put in here, some scratchiness. You're starting to see some of the normal height definition there, how this paint is actually above the wood chip there. And say, hey, there's some nice stuff here. There's like a print there. There's a little bit of a chip there. What if I do this? And then now suddenly, because of the angle of incidence, we're suddenly seeing so much more that I put in there. We're seeing this. We're seeing all this here. We're seeing the slash marks here. Scratch, slash, whatever. Seeing it here. Seeing this mark here. Seeing a lot more dent stuff. A lot more subtle variation. Spots here. See that there? We didn't really see that before. If I go around here, okay, from this angle, when you're getting this bright hot spot here, it's washing that out. You can see it around the edges of it though, see? Like around here. And now let's take a look at the back of the neck. Like, yeah, like, okay. Starting to look realistic from here, right? At least a little bit. I don't claim for a second that I did a perfect job, and this texturing is something that I'm very much learning and growing on. But the important thing here is that, one, the angle of incidence is making a huge difference as to whether or not I'm seeing that roughness variation. So when you're not seeing it at the right angle, it's like it's all gone. Now, as a side note, this is a very simple, it's a very simple blue paint. Like if you have something that's a little more complicated, a lot of subtle variation to the albedo, your color, can make a big difference, because, like, when you get to an angle like this where the roughness variation kind of goes away, it can help to keep it based in reality. Just a side note. I'm going to go in here, I'm going to go into my sky, and I'm going to go library, and let's just grab another one that's very different from this. I'm going to go with this one. I'm seeing a very different lighting setup. Boom. And I'm just going to move this around. I'm hitting shift right click to move it around, left and right drag. Seeing a very different effect. Now, this is a Marmoset Toolbag thing. When I click on here, it creates a child light. This is the weirdest thing on the planet. Like, another video. It's a topic for another video. This is like the weirdest way to light. But Marmoset Toolbag, click there in this image. Now, child light brightness. This is a child light. I'm basically amping up this spot right here in the image, and I'm basically creating a light right there. And I can just drag this around. See what I'm doing? And then, whoa. Now I go there, and it's like, okay, now I'm really highlighting this area here. I'm going to click here anywhere and do that again. And maybe click here and just drag this around. There you go. Now you see what's happening here is just by changing the HDR and working with these child lights, suddenly this looks way, way, way more textured than what you originally saw at the start of this video. Okay, now what you're seeing on the screen here are renders that I have saved out on my hard drive. These are my portfolio renders, basically. Like you see here, this is actually my favorite one. Here's the thing, like what kind of a vibe are you getting from this? Now what kind of a vibe are you getting from this? This is a completely different idea. And I didn't even use this one in the final portfolio presentation. This is really, it was a look dev render. I was considering it as a final portfolio piece, but I ended up not using it. But it definitely showed me my textures. Like you can really clearly see what's here. You can see what's here. You can see how much nastiness I put into the chrome here. You can see this smudge mark that I put here, which I took right from a reference for another instrument. You can see these cut marks I put in here, this stuff here, all of this. You can see these ring marks. Like I actually played on a bass in a Guitar Center a few weeks ago that had like ring-like shapes in it, and I remembered them, and I put that in there. You can see maybe this gunk a little bit on the side of the pick guard here, a little bit more roughness here. Overall, it just looks way darker, and it's a different HDR, it's a different way to approach it. But here, this is more like a product visualization render. It's supposed to look beautiful, it's meant to. And the thing is, I had a key light in Marmoset Toolbag. Let me go over here and select all these models, rotate, control to make it 5 increments of 5. And it's like, all right, this is obviously not going to work anymore. Let's get rid of this sky and right click these things off. And library, let's take something else. Let's take something not so crazy. Something a little more, ooh, that's different. Let's take this Mountain Fields here. That looks nice and soft. Chug that in. And yeah, there we go. I'll lower that down. It's pretty even, you know, it's not crazy. It's even. Now let me go down here, and where it says key light, I have a key light in my scene. I'm gonna turn it on. Boom. Now immediately, this looks way more like a product piece. Like it's nice and clean and friendly looking. Like, does it look anywhere near as textured and grimy as some of those other things? It's still got stuff. Like, let's zoom in. It's still got this stuff here. It's still got stuff, but I mean, if I zoom out here, it's like, you know, it's kind of nice. If you look at this, it's like, okay, that stuff is still here. It's a lot harder to see because I'm lighting it much differently. This lighting is basically smearing out that roughness definition. Go back here, it just looks nice and beautiful. If I'm not mistaken, I had that key light on during this render. Now let's go through some of the other ones. That one's kind of nice in between, like I'm seeing the roughness details, but at the same time it looks kind of nice. Same there. That one, I think I didn't use that in the portfolio presentation either, but kind of shows you stuff. Now this one, it's like you're getting some of this detail on the side here. Just wanted to make sure that that was in there. And again, this one I did basically just like I just showed you. I did exactly the same thing. I just figured out my HDR and just started messing around with child lights. I was just trying to show what I had back here. Obviously there, I wanted to show the fretboard. Here, just show some of these details off. This one looks kind of nice and pretty too, but at the same time, like, you know, you're getting some of these details that I put in here. You know, it's just some of the stuff I put on the nut here. What I did with with the Rickenbacker, having it fade. There's a little bit of depth of field going on there. I think that that depth of field definitely adds to the beauty idea. Now again here, this one, it's more showing you the texture. I wanted you to see this roughness. This one definitely has a nice soft brightness to it. But again, you can still see some of these details. It's maybe not as extreme as the first render I showed you. Now with this one, you put this blue in the background and immediately it's like, it's extremely bright, friendly, colorful looking. I ended up using this as me, my thing. Well, let me show it to you. Here, this is my current, this is what my current ArtStation looks like. Like, I literally just made that the thumbnail as the idea with that blue in the background. It just has so much more of a friendlier, cuddlier, warmer look to it than, you know, back here, this first thing, it was all about just bringing out that texture definition. So what am I getting at here? So point number one, difference between product visualization and game art prop rendering is with product visualization, you're lighting things in order to make it look beautiful. You want people to think of this as this beautiful brand new product you'd want to buy. So you're going to light it in a way that reduces the imperfections. It's the same way with you know, portrait photography and beauty rendering. Like, you know, if you see ads for like makeup products, that sort of thing, you're going to light this scene as a photographer to reduce imperfections and to emphasize the smoothness and the warmth and the beauty of it. Now, if you're purposely trying to show people your texturing abilities as a game artist, you are trying to do the exact opposite. You're trying to show them, I put these cool details in here, look at it, critique it, judge it, see that I'm good at this. So if you're trying to do a game art portfolio piece and you're putting all kinds of texture definition in there, specifically light your piece to show that you did all that work. If you have to have multiple pieces in there like I did here, just maybe have one that is super nice and clean and warm and friendly and beautiful, and maybe have another one that's super grimy and dirty. And it's more of a look dev piece. Like you did this specifically while you were texturing and while you were reviewing the texturing to see that it's in there and to see that it's translating over and you're kind of reviewing it. Like the best and worst thing about Marmoset Toolbag at the same time, if this makes any sense, is how simple it is. Like what's great about Marmoset Toolbag and what's kind of frustrating about Marmoset Toolbag is it's such a simple thing. Like you go into this and it's like, oh wow, well, this is nice and clean and simple. There's only so many things to learn. It's so easy and everything's so intuitive right in front of your face. But then you start to realize that it's very limiting as well. There's only so many options. You know, if you go up there and it's like, all right, I got my move, rotate, and or translate, rotate, and scale. There's not a lot up here. There's light controller, there's rectangle select. It's like, all right, I got a new light here. The light can be a directional, a spot, or an omni, and I don't know, the spot's got, you know, I mean, it's got a diameter thing. Like you can make it reflect a circle shape, you know, normalize brightness. It's got a spot angle. I mean, yeah, it fades off a little bit, and like, it's not going to give you anything nearly as good as like an offline rendering area light. But yeah, you can vary it a little bit, but I definitely feel like these lights in Toolbag really clean things up. In other words, I feel like these make it so much more of a product render. They make it look so much cleaner. They tend to wash out a lot of those roughness details. Like this looks really nice, the lighting on here. I do like that effect. But again, let's take off this key light. Okay, now let's go back into the HDR library and let's grab Alley Moonlight. Double click on this. How do I do this? All right, there you go. And then just drag and drop. And this is one of those contrastier ones. Brightness. Click on this, move this around. Child light brightness. These child lights, in my opinion, do a much better job of bringing out the roughness variation details you put in there. So that's kind of my second point in the video. First point in the video is just recognizing the difference between a product render and a game art portfolio piece where you're trying to show off your textures. And two is you kind of have to understand how to use Marmoset Toolbag differently than other renderers, because it's very different. Like, this is the weirdest way to light. I'm just dragging this and I'm moving it around. It's kind of clunky, like what direction do I move in? But look at how much you're getting. Look at how nice and creepy and grimy this is coming. If you're trying to do that, see what I'm doing? Just, it's like, ooh, I kind of caught that there. Let me do this. Like, see how much better if you were trying to post something online to have somebody critique your textures, how much better of a job this is doing if you wanted them to see that. Maybe that's a little too hot there because I can't see it anymore. But anyway, hopefully you get the idea. Like, this is a much better job of just, it's look dev, like you're trying to test this out. I'm developing the look. And it looks so much darker and creepier, but it's about reviewing your textures. It's about showing that off. What are you trying to do with what is the purpose of this piece? Are you trying to make it look as beautiful as possible? Are you trying to show off your lighting skills? Are you trying to show off your texturing skills? Make sure if you put work into modeling and texturing and lighting with your portfolio pieces that you are showing off all three of them appropriately. Otherwise, you're selling yourself short and you did all that work and people aren't actually going to see it. Hey everybody, Scott here. Real quick, I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching today's video, and if you found it helpful at all, please consider sharing it with an online community of some sort so that other people can benefit from it as well. That would absolutely help out a small channel like mine. Thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, and take care.